Right, so Bhujasana, week one, even though we've kind of had our week one with the stretchy side. I thought I would wear my shorts, as we've been talking about doing yoga in shorts. Yes, exceedingly unflattering. So we're going to start by just rolling around the shoulders. So if there's anything you prefer to do, just to open up the shoulder joint, be my guest. Otherwise, nice deep shoulder circles one way. And really imagining that's almost like a pestle and mortar movement. And we're trying to get through and around the whole, I don't know which one's which is the pestle. I guess the pestle is, I don't know, is the pestle the, anyway, we're trying to get all the way around the bowl of the pestle and mortar. And then other way around. If you haven't already started to kind of lift the elbows, now's a really good time. Maybe you take your hands on top of the shoulders and same action, but should feel a little bit different. So we're starting to move the shoulder blade in the rhythm of the arm bone and then other direction. Nice. So this is going to be the strength side. So it's starting to building up core, back stability, shoulder strength, and just general awareness. So we're going to start on our back. As usual, bridge. Nice and easy. Hips are high. Shoulder blades pressed down. Head is comfortable. Chin is released. And then from here, we're just going to take little toe taps. So literally trying to keep the hips exactly as they are and just lifting and replacing. Lifting and replacing. Lifting and replacing. So our whole aim is trying to keep the hips nice and still as we make the movement. Two more. Keep lifting. And then come into stillness. Left leg stays down, right leg comes in. Pigeon that leg. So as if you were doing pigeon laying down. Just going to rest in pigeon here, getting a little bit of rotation through that floating legs. Still hips are up. Keeping the hips up, other side. So you do want to be finding some space in the hips, so make sure you can feel a little bit of pleasant sensation, but still keeping the hips up. So still using the feet, pressing the feet into the ground. And then exhale, hug in. Roll on up. I'm going to come all the way to some little leg lifts. So if you've got a block, it makes life easier only because as we go through the weeks, we can start to make the block a little bit higher. So for now, we're going to use the block on its lowest setting. Make sure you've got space to left and right of yourself. And just pop the block to the right of the right leg. And then really nice and simple, we're going to lift the right leg off of the ground and pop it over the block. Lift and lower. Nice. So we've been doing this a couple of times now. So just notice that tendency as you lift the leg, that tendency for the body to rock back. If you can, try and keep upright as much as you possibly can as you lift and extend. So try and really resist that temptation to lean back. Almost lean forward if anything. Last one. And then other side. So block it to the left of your left foot, or your left kind of shin. See if you can sit up, lift, take it out to the side. Brilliant. As you're lifting, I should have said this on the other part, rather than it just being through the quad, see if you can bring the core a little bit more involved and start to really pick up from the core. So really nice. Still keeping on the sit bones. Last one. Oh, perfect. Get rid of the block. We'll use it later. Come roll down. So with that action in mind, when we think about the lower limbs and that lift that comes from Bhujasana, it's very similar to a double leg lift. So when you're ready, hands come down by your side. And it's your choice. Your legs can start off straight. You can gently lower and then gently pop them back. So we're going to be here for about a minute, so just exploring where the body wants to go. We're going to leave a very gentle curve behind our lower back. But if you feel that gentle curve really start to peel off, then draw the belly really down. And just try and flatten the curve a little bit. So again, the movement is coming from the deeper layers of the belly, not just the quads. The thighs. So starting to think about taking the legs a little bit deeper now. Last 3. 2. Hover here. And then bend your knees. Have a little windscreen wiper. My voice is like, hover here. That's how easy it was. So just unwind. We've kind of folded and carried weight across there, so just unwind it. One knee comes in, other leg comes behind. Rock up and come all the way to your belly. So probably the least flattering things to do in shorts. We're going to do frog, but frog with pulses. So we want the inner thighs to do their job in lifting our legs as well. We want the whole core and limbs to be lifting us. So everything needs to be nice and active. So if you need something to feel more comfortable in frog, do so. So if you want to grab something for underneath your knees, you can just pop me on pause now. And we're going to try and come to frog. So in frog, knees and ankles, check them that the knees are straight above the ankles, so the ankles are not further out or further in than the knees, first thing. And then knees and hips. So rock forward and back, and just find a place where the knees are straight out of the hips, so the knees aren't further forward or further back than the hips. When you get to that place, you're going to push the knees into the ground and just slightly tuck. And then inhale, release, push and tuck. So really think about squeezing the knees into the mid center, even though they're not really moving. If you want, you can add a little bit of core work here. As you exhale, not only squeezing the knees, but also rounding through here. Perfect. Really keep squeezing. Brilliant. So that sense of picking up the hips by squeezing the knees, squeezing the inner thighs. We've got 3 more, we're going to hold it on the last one. Brilliant. Stay here, squeeze. Squeeze everything into the center. Keep squeezing, so you're pushing down with the knees and trying to bring them in. You're drawing the belly up. Belly's away from the floor. Lovely. Oh. If you want, tuck the toes and come straight back to a wide leg down dog. From a wide leg down dog, start to wiggle the feet. Migrated into a down dog. If you are in shorts, this is where I recommend you don't look directly at your thighs, because like Medusa, they will turn you into stone. We're going to do some pretty strong shoulder work here using our breath. We're going to stay in down dog for 4 breaths and then take a dip for 1 breath. So we're just going to take one last breath here, so we've been about 4 breaths. As we exhale, bend the elbows, head comes closer to the ground. Inhale, straighten up. 3 more breaths in down dog. Last breath. Exhale as you bend. Inhale as you push. 4 breaths. Two breaths. Exhale, bend the elbows, take the head a little bit closer to the ground, stay here, spread the fingers, and push up. Last one, just like that. 3 more breaths here. We're going to take a long, slow down dog dip. Last breath. Exhale, bend the elbows, take the head closer, so bend a little bit more. Stay here. And then press up. Drop down to your knees. Oh, wriggle the head a little bit, unwind it. I've just washed my hair, that's why it's not tied up, it's a little bit crazy. And then just the last thing before we come to actually giving Bhujasana a little bit of a go. Come up to a forward fold. So we're just going to make sure that the back is nice and active. We're going to think about forward folding and then coming up to a flat back, which I know we haven't done for a while. Slightly reversed breath. We're actually going to inhale as we come down so that our exhale is strong and powerful. So inhale as we forward fold. Exhale, flat back. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale. See if you can draw the back up by pulling the core in. Inhale to release. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale to release. Exhale, push the floor, draw it in. Inhale. Really start to use a deep exhale, so a really long, full exhale. You should really be feeling it in the deep layers of the core, so really switch them on. Deep, chuck everything out on an exhale. Last one. Stay here. Core is massively switched on, spine is switched on, everything nice and supportive. Make sure the weight is through the front. Head is in line. And then drop all the way down. Nice. I'm going to come onto our blocks. Put them on a middle height, I would say. This really depends on body length versus arm length. So you'll find a spot which feels most comfortable for you. Blocks are a little bit in front of the hips. It's just going to give us a little bit of help. We're going to keep the legs straight. And we're going to keep the legs down. Actually, I'm going to do it sideways. That's a bit nicer. So, legs are straight, legs are down. Blocks are a little bit in front. In a moment, we're going to push down with the blocks and just lift the butt off of the ground, keeping the heels on the floor. At any point, if you want to change the block's direction so it feels a little bit more powerful, go for it. In fact, I'm probably going to put my blocks onto the lowest height. So think about first, before we go anywhere, we're going to take a deep exhale to really activate. As we start to exhale, we're going to push down with the blocks, straighten the arms, lift through the core, lift through the thighs and the hip flexors, and bring the hips up. So inhale, exhale, push and lift. Hold it here, pushing, lifting. Now activate, squeeze the heels down to the ground, curl them in. Squeeze the heels, curl them in. And then lower. So when we get up, it's really tempting just to literally hang through the arms, that's fine. But we really need, in order to lift the legs, if we're just hanging through the arms, we've got no chance. We need to activate through this layer of our body. So a really great way to do that is to push the heels into the ground and imagine them coming closer to us. So kind of almost scraping the floor. Let's do that again. If you need to change your position of your blocks, do so. Otherwise, inhaling. Exhale. Okay, get comfortable. Press the heels, bring them closer. Press the heels, bring them closer. Yep. Belly switches on, and then lower down just one last time. So really, you want, if you can feel a part of your body that's not active, that's a great thing. See if you can activate it. We really want almost the whole gambit to be activated. So if something's not switched on, invite it to join. Bhujasana, elephant trunk pose. Okay, last time. Hands down. If you want, you can try, although I think it will be too much pressure going through the knuckles, but if you're used to using your knuckles in down dog and the wrists feel a little bit iffy, feel free. You can also just take the wrists out to the side, so it's a little bit more rotation going through, if that feels more comfortable. So if there's things going on with the wrist, feel free to play with the hand positions just for a little bit and see where you feel most powerful. When you're ready, hands pressed down. Inhale. Exhale to lift, straighten up. Press the heels in and pull them up. Round the belly, squeeze the pelvic floor, heels press. On the belly, squeeze the pelvic floor, heels press. Yay! Well done. Release here. If you want, you can go straight to the 20-minute stretchy side of Bhujasana. Otherwise, you might just want to sit and take 5 minutes to do your own stretches. See you for week 2.